ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ओम अज्ञानतिभ्रान्तस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 12, Verse 16. तत्तेऽहं दर्शयिष्यामि दिदृक्षोऽसुरसत्तमा कामिना बहुमन्तव्यं सङ्कल्पप्रभवोदयम्. Okay, so now Lord Vishnu is going to show the Mohini Murti, Mohini form. O best of the demigods, I shall now show you my form that is very much appreciated by those who are lusty. Since you want to see that form, I shall reveal it in your presence. Lord Shiva is desiring to see Lord Vishnu reveal the most attractive and beautiful form of a woman was certainly a joking affair. Lord Shiva's desiring that Lord Vishnu reveal the most attractive and beautiful form of a woman was certainly a joking affair. Lord Shiva knew that he could not be agitated by any so-called beautiful woman because he's married to the most beautiful woman in the material world, Durga Devi. So he cannot be agitated by any so-called beautiful women of this material world. The Daityas may have been bewildered, he thought. But since even the demigods could not be agitated, what to speak of me, who am the best of all the demigods? So, Prabhupada is explaining the thought process behind here. So, Lord Shiva is thinking, anyway, Daityas got bewildered. The demigods did not get agitated. And I am supposed to be the best of the demigods, so I'm not going to get agitated. However, because Lord Shiva wanted to see Lord Vishnu's form as a woman, Lord Vishnu decided to impersonate a woman and show him a form that would immediately put him in an ocean of lusty desires. So, which means that now Lord Vishnu is showing a form which was not possibly the same that he showed to the others, because demigods did not get agitated by now, but now Lord Shiva will get carried away. In effect, therefore, Lord Vishnu told Shiva, I will show you my form as a woman, and if you become agitated by lusty desires, do not blame me. So Racharyas, especially Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, does this. He gives a lot of conversation between devotees and the Lord. So this is the mood of Lord Vishnu saying that you are asking me to reveal this form, and don't blame me if you are affected by lusty desires. The attractive features of a woman are appreciated by those who are affected by lusty desires. But those who are above such desires, who are on the platform of Krishna consciousness, are very difficult to bewilder. And of course, Lord Shiva is Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu. Nonetheless, by the supreme desire of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, everything can be done. This was to be a test of whether Lord Shiva could remain unagitated. We can't imagine this test. It's only for Lord Shiva, who is Parama Vaishnava. So now Lord Vishnu is going to reveal a form which will end up agitating even Lord Shiva. So anything is possible for Lord Vishnu. And we can understand saying that others, including Lord Shiva, are limited. They can't surpass the power of Lord Vishnu. This shows, and many other pastimes also show that Vishnu, Krishna is the supreme. Krishna doesn't get bewildered by beauty, Okay. So Radharani is the most beautiful, mm, most beautiful person in the creation. Her beauty surpasses Krishna's beauty. We can't imagine what that could mean. But even though she is the most beautiful, Krishna is not really attracted by her beauty. Of course, Krishna is also attracted by her beauty, which is a very difficult philosophy to understand. Hmm. And the gopis, who are expansions of Radharani, uh, are also the most beautiful. And the way the gopis um, manifest uh, are in ways that kind of enhances Krishna's pastimes. So, though Radharani is the epitome of all, or she is the aggregate of all qualities, all beauty, everything, but she manifests herself and the gopis in such a way that the combined effect is superlative. Meaning the combined effect of Radha and all the gopis together gives Krishna utmost happiness. That's how they are manifested. That's how they take their forms, etc. And now we're talking about beauty and being bewildered. Uh, Actually, Krishna is attracted to Radha and all the gopis not because of their beauty, though they are the most beautiful in creation. Krishna is attracted to the gopis and Radha just because of the purity of their love. And along with their high class devotion, they are also the most beautiful looking. And their beauty gets enhanced and Krishna is happy seeing them. So it's achintya. Krishna's sweetness increases on seeing the sweetness of Radha and gopis. And by seeing that Krishna's sweetness is increasing, the sweetness of Radha and gopis increase. And this competition, this is the infinite, endless competition happens. But at the end of the day, though it looks like Krishna is being attracted by the beauty of Radha and gopis, but actually is attracted by their pure devotion. So Krishna is called Madana Mohana. He can create illusion for Madana, but Radha is Madana Mohana Mohini. She can bewilder even Krishna. But she bewilders Krishna not just simply by just beauty. She bewilders him by her devotion, by a superlative devotion. So Krishna is not attracted by anything apart from devotion. This is, we can't understand because Krishna externally behaves in ways that might seem like material, but they're not material. Mm. So nobody can bewilder Krishna, nobody can bewilder Krishna's pure devotees. And we know Haridas Thakur was tested twice by Maya Devi. Mm. But because devotees have experienced that higher taste in Krishna consciousness, Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinah rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. So because they experience that superlative happiness, bliss in Krishna consciousness, and Krishna and everything about Krishna attracts their heart without giving any space for any attraction for anything connected to this mundane world. There is no space in the heart of pure devotees to get attracted by anything of this material world. So Lord Shiva is also one such devotee. We should not misunderstand. Mhm. So in one sense, Lord Vishnu is teaching a lesson through Lord Shiva, saying that you can be a most exalted devotee like Shiva, but you can still get bewildered. Mm. Of course, he got bewildered by the desire of Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu. But still, it's a lesson. As Prabhupada always used to say, never trust your mind. Never trust your mind. Mind is our biggest enemy. It can just put us on the wrong path at any time, any point in time. And one of the things that triggers this mind misleading us is us thinking and talking mundane about other people, about this material world, etc. Sometimes devotees talk too much behind other devotees. This is not good. It contaminates the mind. And it's a recipe for Vaishnava Aparad. So similarly, if we are simply, silently observing, admiring anything of this beautiful, of this world, material world, mind will take that opportunity and misguide us. So we have to be very, very careful. We have to be very careful about whatever attracts us in this material world, whatever used to attract us in this material world. We have to be very careful because that attraction can come back at any point in time. Like I was saying before coming to Krishna consciousness, I was attracted to old Hindi songs. And it took me quite some time to come out of this attraction. Mm. And then what should devotees do? Avoid it. Suppose say we are attracted by a Hindi song, then we should make sure that we don't end up hearing. Because if we end up hearing, then we can't control our mind. Mind will get pulled. What does modern TV and advertisement do? Just to drag people's minds in different directions, whether they want it, they need it, they like it, they don't like it. So we have to be very, very careful. Lord Shiva is now going to be put under the very difficult test uh, of when Vishnu wants to bewilder Shiva. So it's a very, very, very difficult situation. So I'm not going to go into a lot of details here because it's not conducive to read all this gory description about the form of a woman. So I'm going to skip sections which are not uh, very conducive for my reading. I don't know, maybe other devotees are more advanced, but yeah. Shishikuvacha iti pruvano bhagavamstatraivantarधीयत sarvatascharayam chakshur bhava aste sahomaya. Shukadeva Goswami continued. After speaking in this way, the Supreme Person of Godhead Vishnu immediately disappeared, and Lord Shiva remained there with Uma, looking for him all around with moving eyes. No, obviously, Lord Shiva came with Uma because he was pretty confident that he's not going to get bewildered. Uh, but he gets bewildered right in front of his wife. But he's not, he doesn't feel embarrassed. So we'll read about this later. Tato dadarshopavane varastriyam vichitra pushparuna pallavadrume vikridatim kanduka leelaya lasad dukula paryasta nitamba mekhalam. Okay. Um, Thereafter, in a nice forest nearby full of trees with reddish pink leaves and varieties of flowers, Lord Shiva saw a beautiful woman playing with a ball. Okay, so now I'm going to keep jumping wherever I don't want to read. Okay, so this continues the beautiful description of a woman. The woman's face was decorated by broad, beautiful, restless eyes, which moved as the ball bounced here and there from her hand. So this is one thing, women engaging in these kind of sports is not allowed because it just bewilders others. And Prabhupada writes in so many this one that is this is just um, women are being cheated by engaging in these kind of sports because it's not right. This all this jumping kind of thing should not be engaged by women. The two brilliant earrings on her ears decorated her shining cheeks, like bluish reflections, and the hair scattered on her face made her even more beautiful to see. So she was beautiful. Hmm. As she played with the ball, the sari covering her body became loose and her hair scattered. She tried to bind her hair with her beautiful left hand, and at the same time, she played with the ball by striking it with her right hand. This was so attractive that the Supreme Lord, by his internal energy, internal potency in this way, captivated everyone. So we can understand this is just for our understanding, saying that these kind of sports, first of all, for devotees, they should not engage in these kind of sports, which are physical and this, like I said. And for men, they should not watch such sports. Of course, they should not watch any sports, but definitely they should not watch such sports. And here, because we just get bewildered. We just get bewildered. And Bhagavad Gita, it is said, Daivi Esha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya. The external potency of the Supreme Person of Godhead is extremely strong. Indeed, everyone is fully captivated by her activities. Lord Shambhu was not to be captivated by the external potency, but because Lord Vishnu wanted to captivate him also, he exhibited his internal potency to act the way that his external potency acts to captivate ordinary living entities. Lord Vishnu can captivate anyone, even such a strong personality as Lord Shambhu. So this surpassed the potency of external energy to bewilder jivas. It surpassed because now Krishna made his internal energy, which is normally can't doesn't evoke lusty desires. He made his internal potency to act over and beyond the external potency's ability to bewilder. So it was a very, very special situation created by Lord Vishnu. So obviously Lord Shiva kind of, find himself in difficulty. Okay, now one more important thing. These are all super lessons for both men and women. While Lord Shiva observed the beautiful woman playing with the ball, she sometimes glanced at him and slightly smiled in bashfulness. As he looked at the beautiful woman and she watched him, he forgot both himself and Uma, his most beautiful wife, as well as his associates nearby. See, this is the power of the glance of a woman. Now, both parties have to be careful, right? Men obviously should not get caught up there. Women also should not get caught up there. Because if by chance, and which is why previously in our Vedic culture, always women used to head, cover their head to such an extent that their eyes are also not visible. Hair is not visible, eyes are not visible, face is not fully visible. This was for a reason. Hmm. And if suppose say if a woman had to speak openly in front of other men, she will have her head down. For a reason, it's not just submissiveness, it is just like insurance. It's protecting herself and the people around her. Like we see in the case of Ajamila also. Our Acharyas describe saying that Ajamila saw that, that prostitute and that Shudra coming along on the forest path. But the problem happened when he looked into her eyes and she looked into his eyes. So there was eye contact. So this is extremely dangerous. When that eye contact happens, suddenly something happens within the heart. What is that? It evokes lusty desires. So it's always good to not have eye contact, especially, if it's only two individuals, a male and female talking, it's better. It's better. Especially, definitely with strangers, even with known people, it's always safer. Because when that look is seen differently, now we might not be seeing that person in that way, but that person might see us in that way. So it's very, very important. Okay, now this again here, uh, she she sometimes glanced at him and she smiled in bashfulness. So these are two extremely powerful weapons. Uh, um, and then Shiva forgot himself. He forgot that Uma was there, his associates were there. He just forgot everybody. And this is what happens when we get bewildered with material things. We forget ourselves and we end up doing mistakes. So it's important that we protect ourselves. It's always very, very important. The material bondage of this world is that a beautiful woman can captivate a handsome man, and that a handsome man can captivate a beautiful woman. So, generally, Prabhupada only talks about women. Here, he is also talking about man. Because whenever he talks about women, because he is a man, he is writing in terms of women. If a woman were writing, she should have written in terms of man. So, sometimes Prabhupada writes both. Yes. This attraction is not just one directional, it's both directional. Such are the affairs that began when Lord Shiva observed the beautiful girl playing with the ball. In such activities, the influence of Cupid is very prominent. See, as both parties move their eyebrows and glance at one another, their lusty desires increase more and more. Such reciprocations of lusty desire took place between Lord Shiva and the beautiful woman, even though Uma and Lord Shiva's associates were by Lord Shiva's side. Such is the attraction between man and woman in the material world. Lord Shiva was supposed to be all this, above all this attraction, but he was victimized by the captivating power of Lord Vishnu. Rishabdev thus explains the nature of lusty attraction. Pumsastriya mithuni bhavametam tayor mito hridaya gantimahu ato graha kshetra sutapta vitter janasya mohoya maham nameti. Prabhupada quotes these words repeatedly, especially these last two lines. Ata graha kshetra sutapta vitter janasya mohoyam aham mameti. But the first two lines is saying Pumsastriya mithuni bhavametam tayor mitho hridaya granti mahu. Pumsa striya mithuni bhavam. This mithuni bhavam is attraction between male and female. Uh, Prabhupada writes, this attraction between the male and female is the basic principle of material existence. On the basis of this misconception, which ties together the hearts of the male and female, one becomes attracted to this body, home, property, children, relatives, and wealth. Tayor mitho hridaya granthim. This is called knot of the heart. The knot of the heart is this family, knot of the family is the knot of the heart. And this knot of the heart starts with attraction between male and female. Of course, our Vedic civilization was very respectable. It's only today's India which is so fallen. See, in the Vedic way of life, it was very simple. Everybody was clear about the institution called marriage. So the institution called marriage was there just to beget children, and especially Krishna conscious children. Okay, but then in the Western world, as Vedic culture declined, marriage began to be seen as a institute or permission for sense gratification, legitimate sense gratification. So marriage became like a plaything. Sense gratify yourself with marriage. And we see today in India, people get married for years together, no children. Not that they have any issues with begetting children, but they don't want to beget children. Prabhupada was in today morning, I was hearing on class, Prabhupada was saying, he was comparing, he was saying pigs. Pigs produce 1 dozen children every time, and they do this twice a year. So 24 children, 24 children in a year. And he was telling, you humans, you are afraid of begetting even 2 children. So which means that, and then he said, you are afraid, so you end up using contraceptives. So this is low class, sinful life. Unfortunately, even amongst the devotees, there is some misunderstanding saying that it's okay. I don't know where from it came from, but somehow people think they don't consider that as illicit. but it is illicit, right? It's not illicit in that sense, but it's not allowed. It's not allowed. Now, if we say such things, people run away. But what can we do? Whatever Prabhupada has said, we have to say. Prabhupada has repeated this multiple times. Unless husband and wife want to beget children, there should not be physical contact. Full stop. And nowadays we are so fallen that even after the age for producing children, men and women engage in physical activities. It's just fallen material world. And devotees cannot partake of this, cannot become part of this. It's crazy. It's really crazy because it's not understandable. It's very gross. I don't, Anyway, so we should understand that there is a reason for this, right? And it should be only engaged for that reason. Otherwise, there's no question. Hmm. So even marriage used to be a sacred institute, unlike today. Hmm. So there was no real attraction for externals previously. Hmm. And so which is why, even in general, even within a house, women had separate quarters, men had separate quarters, right? And Garbhadana Samskara was public. Garbhadana Samskara was public information. If a boy and a girl are going to produce children, it was public information that, okay, this is going to happen, this is the time, this is the muhurta, etc. Not like nowadays, like low class. So anyway, so Prabhupada, Rishabh here is saying that attraction previously was not creating a knot because they knew that this is my responsibility. It's the responsibility of a grihastha. Grihastha is one who is married to a wife and lives a ashram life. It's called grihastha ashram. He lives the ashram life. Ashram life means Krishna is in the center, not sense gratification. If Krishna is in the center, then life has to be led as required by Krishna. Hmm? And if there is grihastha ashram, there is no bondage. There is no this mithuni bhavam, this hridaya granthi. There won't be hridaya granthi. Hridaya granthi is this knot of attraction to this material world. Aham, mama, me, my family, my children, my husband, my house, my this, my that, my this. This is hridaya granthi. So Rishabdev is saying, because of this attraction, Prabhupada is saying, if there is no institute of marriage, then nobody wants economic development. A person who is single, he doesn't want any economic development. Why does he want economic development? His requirements are fixed. He's going to be happy with whatever he's getting. Right? But then when there's family, then expansion happens. 3 means expansion. And then when expansion happens, requirements increase. So obviously there is need for economic development. But this previously it was not like this. This is all Kali Yuga contamination. Which is why Prabhupada said 50% of my work is undone, is not done. Which is to establish Varnashrama. And the idea of Varnashrama is to bring back some of these basics, very fundamental these are. It might seem out of the world for today's people, but these are very fundamental aspects of cultured human life. Prabhupada used to say, cultured human life begins with Varnashrama. Because we might be so-called cultured in front of others, but what we do inside the house decides whether we are cultured or not cultured, not outside. Outside, of course, it is expected. In this way, one increases life's illusions and thinks in terms of I and mine. When a man and woman exchange feelings of lust, both of them are victimized and thus they are bound to this world in various ways. So we have to be very, very careful. We have to be very careful. Sometimes even in devotee community, sometimes we take things for granted. It's not good. It's not good, which is why, I tell saying that men should not drive women unless it's their wife, right? So if somebody sits in my car, they have to sit in the back. They can't sit in the side seat unless the whole car is full. Only in that condition, somebody can sit in front beside me if I'm driving. And definitely not in two-wheeler. Definitely. Of course, if there are like children age type, it's okay. But still, it just should be avoided as much as possible, as much as possible. So if somebody offers you, if a Prabhu offers you a right, just say respectfully, no, thank you. It's safe. It's just safe. People might say, no, no, but we are not like that. We are, above all that. But we don't know when what will happen. So these things have to be followed. It is for our safety. We have to understand it's for our safety. And in fact, brahmacharis are advised not to even look at women. Grihasthas can't help. Sometimes, they have to deal with women, but brahmacharis are expected to be as distant as possible from women. Mm. So it's required. It's required. Lord Shiva got victimized. It's scary. Okay. The climax. When the ball leaped from her hand and fell at a distance, the woman began to follow it. But as Lord Shiva observed these activities, a breeze suddenly blew away the fine dress and belt that covered her. Thus Lord Shiva saw the woman. Every part of whose body was beautifully formed, and the beautiful woman also looked at him. Therefore, thinking that she was attracted to him, Lord Shiva became very much attracted to her. So he just got bewildered. Somebody who's married to Durga Devi, she cannot bewilder him. But in this case, Lord Shiva was bewildered by seeing the form of the woman. And he thought that she was attracted to him. This is another thing that happens in mundane world. Somehow something gets into our head saying that, oh, no, maybe this person likes me. It's just mental concoction. Sometimes these things for advanced devotees, they think that this is all useless discussion. But for fallen souls like me, these are not useful, useless discussions. These are very, very required. And this is the only way we can protect ourselves from Maya. Lord Shiva was observing every part of the woman's body, and she was also glancing at him with restless eyes. Now, see, Shastra teaches us, we should understand. Which is why in Indian culture, again, Vedic culture, lady covers up her body. It's very simple. It's just to protect herself and prevent somebody from falling. And I'm happy that to a great extent it is being followed in our center here at Limau. Women try to be very, very careful about how they present themselves, and it's important. And actually I appreciate this Marwari community. I see them. They are like from childhood, they're trained to wear sari, and they know how to cover all parts of their body. And they very nicely do it. And I see, of course, even in our center here, a lot of Matajis do that, which is good, which is required. And it's the duty of Matajis to train, to teach other Matajis who don't understand the subtleties of dressing. I was telling Shikavati Mataji that, there are some intricacies which have to be taught. Unfortunately, still not many women understand these things or are conscious about these things. And since we are setting standards, high standards here, I told saying that, there's still some scope for improvement. And somebody might ask, what is your business in all this? Yeah, it's not my business, but unfortunately, I'm put into this position where I need to bring everything to the highest standard. So I end up having to speak about things which I'm not supposed to generally speak. But then I pray for protection, from my Guru and Srila Prabhupada and Krishna. And because I'm doing their job, I'm trying to do what they expect from devotees. Right? But it's very, very important that it is required. It is required. It is required. Please don't underestimate these things. Lord Shiva is good sense taken away by the woman because of lusty desires to enjoy with her. Became so mad for her that even in the presence of Bhavani, he did not hesitate to approach her. Now, this doesn't have to be only with respect to a man or a woman, but it can happen with respect to any material thing, that suddenly the desire to enjoy something will sprout up in our heart. We don't know when. We don't know when, why, for what reason it can sprout up because of previous vasanas. So always, like I was saying, you like ice cream, don't go near ice cream shop. You like Hindi song, don't go near wherever Hindi songs are playing. Whatever is your material weakness, keep yourself away from that. Because if we expose ourselves, we don't have the power yet. Some of the devotees here hearing might have the power, but I'm saying in general, we might not have the power to protect ourselves and we might fall down. So it's very, very important. Okay. And this is just not about lusty desires with respect to a man or woman. It's with respect to any lusty desire, meaning any desire to enjoy anything of this material world, independent of Krishna, is a lusty desire. So even though in the presence of Bhavani, he did not hesitate to approach her. Meaning, see, just imagine this scene, like Uma is standing beside him and Shiva is just lost himself. Vaishnavanam yatha shambho, some person who could drink, that poison, such a powerful personality, he just lost himself to that woman. And he's just not, no external conscious. He is not able to remember that Uma is beside her and all his followers. Okay, at least wife will understand husband. Now followers are there. And what if you do a blunder in front of followers? But Shiva was so caught up that he just could not, he just did not think that, okay, all of them are there. The beautiful woman was already naked, and when she saw Lord Shiva coming toward her, she became extremely bashful. Thus she kept smiling, but she hid herself among the trees and did not stand in one place. His senses being agitated, Lord Shiva, victimized by lusty desires, began to follow her just as a lusty elephant follows a she-elephant. So he just lost himself. After following her with great speed, Lord Shiva caught her by the braid of her hair and dragged her near him. Although she was unwilling, he embraced her with his arms. Being embraced by Lord Shiva like a female elephant embraced by a male, the woman whose hair was scattered swirled like a snake. O king, this woman, who had a large high hips was a woman of Yoga Maya presented by the Supreme Lord. So she was a woman of Yoga Maya. She released herself somehow or other from the fond embrace of Lord Shiva's arms and ran away. As if harassed by an enemy in the form of lusty desires, Lord Shiva followed the path of Lord Vishnu. So now this is just to bring us back to the real picture, that Lord Shiva was not running behind a woman. He was running behind Lord Vishnu, who acts very wonderfully and who had taken the form of Mohini. Lord Shiva cannot be victimized by Maya. Therefore, it is to be understood that Lord Shiva was being thus harassed by Lord Vishnu's internal potency. Lord Vishnu can perform any wonderful activities through his various potencies. Supreme Lord has various potencies by which he can act very efficiently. To do anything expertly, he doesn't even need to contemplate. Since Lord Shiva was being harassed by the woman, it is to be understood that this was being done not by a woman, but by Lord Vishnu himself. Of course, for us, Lord Vishnu doesn't have to come. Ordinary material things are enough. Just as a maddened bull elephant follows a female elephant who is able to conceive pregnancy, Lord Shiva followed the beautiful women and discharged semen, even though his discharge of semen never goes in vain. O king, wheresoever on the surface of the globe fell the semen of the great personality of Lord Shiva, mines of gold and silver later appeared. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments that those who seek gold and silver can worship Lord Shiva for material opulences. Lord Shiva lives under a bale tree and does not even construct a house in which to dwell. But although he is apparently poverty-stricken, his devotees are sometimes opulently endowed with large quantities of silver and gold. Parikshit Maharaj later asks about this and Chukadev Goswami replies. Following Mohini, Lord Shiva went everywhere, near the shores of the rivers and lakes, near the mountains, near the forests, near the gardens, and wherever there lived great sages. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur remarks that Mohini Murti dragged Lord Shiva to so many places, especially to where the great sages lived, to instruct the sages that their Lord Shiva had become mad for a beautiful woman. Thus, although they were all great sages and saintly persons, they should not think themselves free, but should remain extremely cautious about beautiful women. No one should think himself liberated in the presence of a beautiful woman. Shastras enjoin matra swastra duhitra va navi viktasano bhavet balavan indriya gramo vidvamsam apikarshati. One should not stay in a solitary place with a woman, even if she be his mother, sister, or daughter, for the senses are so uncontrollably powerful that in the presence of a woman, one may become agitated, even if he is very learned and advanced. So, one of the things that we should always do, practice in a devotee community, is avoid these solitary conversations. If some male and female have to have conversation, it should be in an open place. It may or may not be that other people may or may not be around, but it should be in an open place. It should not be in a solitary place, number one. Number two, we should avoid any kind of little physical contact. It could be, for example, during Arati, we are giving flowers. So normally Prabhus take flowers and then hand it over to Matajis. And we have to be very careful to avoid any kind of even a little physical touch. This is just protection. This is like, just insurance. We are just protecting ourselves. Which is why, generally, if Prabhus and Matajis have to work in one place, it's better if Prabhus are separate and Matajis are separate. Sometimes it becomes unavoidable. Like in our kitchen here, very small. So everybody is running around everywhere, but we have to be careful. We have to be cautious about this. And generally, I suggest that at least there should be 1 arm distance when men and women are standing, and if they're talking or doing whatever, at least there should be 1 arm distance, if not more. If it is more, it's better. These are just some guidelines. It's not like, okay, has this been given in Shastra? I don't know, I have not heard. But I just feel that this is safe. This keeps us. Sometimes I keep running away and women trying to talk to me keep coming behind me. I can't tell them saying that please stand there. I'm going back because I want you to stand where you are. Not that I want you to follow me. So I request all Matajis to please be careful about these things. It's important. It's important. And sometimes people might feel rude if I say, please stand at a distance, but everybody needs to understand. These things are not personally talked about. So, class gives us an opportunity to speak about these things. So please don't get it wrong. I mean, Lord Shiva was bewildered. What can we say of ordinary souls like us? We have to be careful. O Maharaj Parikshit, best of kings, when Lord Shiva had fully discharged semen, he could see how he himself had been victimized by the illusion created by the Supreme Lord. Thus he restrained himself from any further Maya. Once one is agitated by lusty desires upon seeing a woman, those desires increase more and more. But when semen is discharged in the act of sex, the lusty desires diminish. This is how it works. The same principle acted upon Lord Shiva. He was allured by the beautiful woman Mohini Murti. But when his semen had been fully discharged, he came to his senses and realized how he had been victimized as soon as he saw the woman in the forest. If one is trained to protect his semen by observing celibacy, naturally he is not attracted by the beauty of a woman. If one can remain a brahmachari, he saves himself so much trouble in material existence. Material existence means enjoying the pleasure of sexual intercourse. Yan maitunadi gramedi sukham ittucham. Low class. If one is educated about sex life and is trained to protect his semen, he is saved from the danger of material existence. Specifically for brahmacharis. Thus, Lord Shiva could understand his position and that the Supreme Lord who had unlimited potencies, having reached this understanding, he was not at all surprised by the wonderful way Lord Vishnu had acted upon him. See, Shiva was very clear. This is not just ordinary mundane bewilderment, illusion. This was created by Lord Vishnu. So Shiva was clear. So he was not embarrassed. Even though, his wife was just there with him, he was not embarrassed in front of her. Because he didn't do it willingly. He was dragged into it. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is known as all-powerful because no one can excel him in any activity. Matta parataram nanyat kinti jasti jananjaya. O conqueror of wealth, there is no truth superior to me. No one can equal the Lord or be greater than him, for he is the master of everyone. As stated in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Ekale Ishvara Krishna Ara Sabhabhritya, Supreme Lord Krishna is the only master of everyone, including even Lord Shiva, or to speak of others. Lord Shiva was already aware of the supreme power of Lord Vishnu, But when he was actually put into bewilderment, he felt proud to have such an exalted master. This only Prabhupada can write. Uh, he did such a infamous act, but he was proud that I was made to do like this by my exalted master, Lord Vishnu. Seeing Lord Shiva unagitated and unashamed, he was not ashamed. Lord Vishnu, Madhusudana was very pleased. Thus he resumed his original form and spoke as follows. Although Lord Shiva was aghast at the potency of Lord Vishnu, he did not feel ashamed. He was surprised, but he was not ashamed. Rather, he was proud to be defeated by Lord Vishnu. Nothing is hidden from the Supreme Person of Godhead, for he is in everyone's heart. Indeed, the Lord says, Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto matta smritir gnanam apohanam cha. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. Whatever happened had taken place under the direction of the Supreme Lord, and therefore there is no cause to be sorry or ashamed. Although Lord Shiva is never defeated by anyone, when defeated by Lord Vishnu, he felt proud that he had such an exalted and powerful master. Okay, so I'll just stop here because now Lord speaks and there'll be some things for us to understand. So I'll stop here. Yeah, unless there are some very relevant questions, I would prefer not to discuss anything on this topic. Unless there are some very, very relevant questions, if anybody has. And it's just for our consumption, so the more we don't discuss further and introspect, the better. Okay, so we'll stop here. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Pancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Pevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Koti Vaishnavibhyo.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
I just wanted to add something. Prabhu, like you said, the distance between the male and the female, all fine. I mean, with due respect, I don't want to be targeted. Matajis are having young children, especially girl children.
Yeah.
Please, I'm not, I'm not criticizing men. I'm not criticizing women. It's just a
Safety.
warning, like safety measures, especially girls who are not even teenagers and who are not even toddlers. They're in the very middle age. The body is just forming. Please do not let them mingle. Some Maharaj comes, they want go, touch the legs, do this, do that. You're brushing against the men. And some Prabhujis, okay, or they must be a fatherly figure. They make them sit on the lap or they're giving them water. With due respect, Mataji's, keep your girl child a little safer.
Yeah, very, very important point. Very important point. It just didn't come to me. Actually, I think that's also one thing for us here to practice. That especially, I see like there are some children in that age group, and I see them being very, pally with men, with Prabhus. So I think we should avoid. It should not be artificial, but there should be some way by which mothers should protect. Somehow they should train, teach at home. We can't tell openly to men because then they might feel, their false ego might get hurt. But some way, of course, if it goes beyond a certain limit, then obviously we will intervene. But it's a very important, very, very important. Thank you, Mataji. I think that I missed that point.
Because I got targeted once or twice, and then I said, Mataji, meri galti ho gayi.
Yeah. I think good. Yeah, very important, very important. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu. Okay. Thank you for understanding. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Pranam to everybody.
Okay, disconnecting. Hare Krishna.